As many of you will remember, almost a year ago, actor Joseph Gordon-Levitt revealed that he was working on developing a big screen adaptation of the classic graphic novel series Sandman with WB. Levitt recently commented on the development of the project, saying the following: "Been doing a lot of work with David Goyer and Jack Thorne working on the screenplay. We've been doing our meetings at the DC office, which is a freaking rad place to work. Also just had a great conversation last week with David and Mr. Gaiman. Neil has been extremely big-hearted with me, and he's the one I want to please most." Writer David Goyer also commented on the development, saying the following: "I hesitate to definitively say when it might go before the cameras, but the one thing different between other iterations and ours is that Neil Gaiman has been in the room with us and is a vital part of the team. We have a draft Warner's is very happy with, and we're moving forward, knock on wood." John Byers saw the sounds of Sandman at this point.
I'm going to be the unpopular guy here, and I'm going to say I'm going to sell these things. Neil Gaiman is the wrong guy to try to suck up to. He really is. He's a little crazy, and I don't know that I want his or his influence over a live screen version. Look, I read Sandman like everybody else, and it's brilliant and it's awesome, but don't let him near the movies. Personally, I don't think. And this whole thing about Goyer and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I do trust the both of them, to say we need to go with him with this is kind of feels like they're trying to appeal to the hardcore fans of the comics themselves, but forgetting that they represent less than a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the people who might end up actually going to go see this movie. So I don't see the advantages there either way. So I know this is going to put me totally in the minority, but I gotta be honest, I sell it. Anyway, Christian.
I'm going to buy it. I think that because I don't think that he's going to take overall control of the entire thing. I think to have his creative input there and to get a lot of his story points and to make him part of the creative team, I agree with you. It's absolutely to appease fans as well, but I also think it's to really, it's not just saying, okay, thanks, guy. Thanks for everything you did. We'll see you later. You put him in the room. It might be a little nuts, but maybe Goyer and Levitt are able to steer him in a way. Maybe they're not, but maybe they can steer him in a way that it helps creatively and gets what we loved about Sandman on the big screen. So I like the comments. I like the ideas. And I have a question for you guys, because I don't know. Is this part of the DC timeline? Does this play into
what, their cinematic universe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
I have a feeling it doesn't.
Okay. So I mean, overall,
don't know for a fact.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I hadn't heard anything and it wasn't on that slate or whatever. So I buy the comments and I like the team. So I'm curious.
I enthusiastically buy this. Why? I don't think Gaiman is nuts. I think he's a genius. I think he's an artistic genius, and to have him...
And many geniuses ride that fine line between...
I think having him part of the creative process of this particular series, Sandman, is incredibly important, and it's not because it's a comic book. We know that that's 1% of a 1% of the audience of movies. It's that the Sandman character was nothing before Neil Gaiman reinvigorated it and wrote this magical series, and then they capped it and ended it. So to have him a part of it, as well as Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's also a super creative guy, he's producing it. We know he's probably going to play the Sandman.
Yeah. And Don John, which was his first directorial effort, was so good.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, I think it's a great thing to bring him in, and that he's part of the writing process. He's not, you know, getting the credit of a screenplay writer, but he's, you know, I'm sure he's on more than an advisory committee where they're like, look, here's our big story points. Here's where we bring in these guys. Here's where the serial killers come in. Here's where, you know, where death comes in. Like, how do we bring this in? We have to condense, like, basically you have 75 issues with some newer ones or whatever. Right. But you have to condense, what are they going to cover? The first 6 issues, the first 12 issues? How are they breaking it down into what kind of a trilogy? I mean, it's a very, very thick and rich cosmos of that Sandman
How
universe.
many of the siblings do you bring in? All
Yeah,
that kind
it's
of stuff.
a lot of big decisions. So having him be a part of that, I think is great. So
Yeah.
I really enthusiastically buy it.
And I think it's also, you know, a lot of times you have, whether it be the J.K. Rowlings and Suzanne Collins, people of that nature who have written the material, although I think Suzanne Collins wrote a lot of the screenplay as well for Hunger Games. But as far as you bring in these authors, J.K. Rowling was clearly an advisor to the scripts and what was made, and that worked out okay. I mean, two different with novels and graphic novels,
Right.
but still, and maybe not as crazy, genius, not genius, who knows? But it really depends on how they work as an overall team.
Yeah, it's a creative team at the core. That's the important thing. We've seen that happen as a success and failure on all these different projects over time. So you know, we don't know until it's finally done, but that he's part of it and that they're getting closer to making it a green light, that's exciting to me.
You know, I still have the bad taste of, you know, Sin City and
Frank Miller.
Well, Frank Miller and what was the one he did on his own?
Oh, The Spirit?
The Spirit,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
The
yeah,
Spirit.
yeah.
It's like to me, it's like, you know what? Keep these old school comic guys, keep them writing comics and keep them away from the big screen.
Yeah, but they're totally different beasts.
They truly are.
Frank Miller
they really
is
are.
like in his own world doing some weird stuff to himself, bodily harm and whatnot. I hope he gets over whatever he's doing to himself. Neil Gaiman is consciously writing books, very active, doing stuff and snappy, and it's like it's a different universe completely. So.
All right, here's hoping you guys are right and I'm dead wrong.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.